Well, good morning, everybody. I'm Reverend Jessica, the minister at Kitsap Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. Welcome to our online service in Zoom webinar. Happy Father's Day, happy summer solstice. There is a lot to celebrate today. And so with our flower communion, we're taking the opportunity to pause and appreciate the beauty all around us. I invite you to follow along in the order of service. I'm going to put that link in the chat. If you're phoning in today, welcome. We do have a Zoom coffee hour after the service, and the number to call in is the same number that you use to access this webinar. But the meeting ID is 438-451-134, and the password today is flower, capital Flower, and I'm putting that in the chat as well. We would like to start today by acknowledging that the land on which we all live is the Aboriginal territory of the Suquamish, the S'Klallam, and the Skokomish people. They have lived in harmony with the lands and waterways along Washington's Central Salish Sea for thousands of years. These tribes still live here and protect the land and waters of their ancestors for future generations, as promised by the Point Elliott Treaty of 1855. Now please join me in our call to worship. Morning has broken.
Good morning. Welcome to the Kitsap Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. Whoever you are and wherever you have come from, whatever your comfort with modern technology for this hour, we are one gathered congregation and all are welcome. My name is Ed Woods and I am chair of the Building and Grounds Committee, as well as a member of the choir. I sing tenor in the choir. So I have a lot of help on Building and Grounds and a lot of help in the choir. We have a great choir. Our worship leader this morning is our minister, Reverend Jessica Starr Rockers. I would like to welcome any visitors. Please introduce yourself in our chat section. We welcome more interaction with all during our after-service coffee hour. The link to the Zoom coffee hour is in the chat box. You will also need the password, which is capital F, then lowercase L-O-W-E-R, flower. Flower with a capital F, to get into the coffee hour. The announcements are on our webpage, www.kuuf.org, or our weekly email newsletter, The Candle. Please join me in our unison chalice lighting. The words will appear on the screen. You are invited to light a personal chalice or candle in your home at this time. Children of the earth and sky, we are nurtured, sustained, given warmth and light from above and below, supported by earth's strong, firm crust. We build our homes, till the fields, plant our gardens and orchards. When we turn from self and seek to be aware, we will find holy light in human faces, in blossom, birdsong, and sky. Then earth is truly our home, and we are one with all earth's creatures, parents of earth's children yet to be. Please join in singing our opening hymn, Blue Boat Home. The words will appear on your screen. Please join me in the spoken affirmation. The words will appear on your screen. We gather as a caring community, seeking life's deeper meanings. We value diversity and affirm the worth of all living things. We strive to speak truth in love, to act for justice, to grow in spirit, and to care for the earth. We celebrate with open hearts and minds the creative power that sustains and transforms us. And now it is time for our morning offering. To make an online contribution, please click on the PayPal link in the chat box. You may also send a check to the church's P.O. Box address on your screen. You may then email to admin@kuuf.org to let us know if your donation is for the KUF General Fund, or this month's charitable giving recipient, which the minister's discretionary fund, which is the minister's discretionary fund this month, which helps our members in need. If this is your first time with KUUF, there is no need to contribute, as you are our guest. Let there be an offering to strengthen and sustain this fellowship, which is sacred to so many of us.
I was going to play when I was going to show you from when I was the lay leader.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to ask Ed to mute because I can hear you. And I want to invite the children out there to come forward, the young and the young at heart. I invite you to sit a little bit closer to the screen because we have a special story for you today. The story was written by Reverend Elizabeth Stevens, and it is called The Quest of the Rainbow Dragons.
Good morning. It's story time, and I have my assistant here.
Hello.
It's Nathaniel, my grandson, and we have a really special story today.
It's special because it has dragons.
And it's also special because it's the summer story for Kitsap Unitarian Universalist Fellowship CRE program. So, should we begin?
Yeah. The Quest of Rainbow Dragons, Part 1.
Once upon a time,
Not so very long ago.
the world was a very dangerous and miserable place. Greed and fear and anger and hatred filled people's hearts.
And everyone fought constantly.
Many people didn't have enough food to eat or clothes to wear, or lived in thin-walled huts that were sweltering hot in the summer, and
freezing cold in the winter.
people who had horses and swords used them to rob other people. No one tried to protect the innocent.
Except for one man.
His name was Lord Sigismund, and while he did have knights and soldiers in his castles, they fought only when they had to protect their own homes. And in his kingdom by the sea, Sigismund spent his money on seeds, building materials, baby animals to increase the size of his herds.
He hired scientists to study and better understand the world.
And he hired sailors and explorers to travel and bring back stories and ideas from faraway lands. He offered safe haven to people who, like him,
Longed for peace and longed to make the world a better place.
among the people who came to live in the castle by the sea were
12 powerful sorcerers.
tired of the constant fighting and frustrated by people who threatened them in an attempt to force them to use their magic for evil. They had banded together and swore to work with Sigismund.
To make the world safe for all people of goodwill.
One day, the youngest of the 12 sorcerers,
Whose name was Marita.
whose name was what?
Marita.
Marita, was unpacking a box of dusty old books when she came across a book that was older and dustier than all the rest.
She blew on the cover page, and when that didn't work,
She used a damp cloth to clear away the thick, sticky layer of dust, and she read,
The Prophecy of Rainbow Dragons.
she was about to set it aside when some thought, some feeling, some impulse led her to open the book and begin to read.
In a time of great darkness and violence, one will be chosen to bring light to the land. You will know the right one when the Pearl of Wisdom is found and begins to sing.
The book went on, detailing where and how to find the pearl and telling what the chosen one must do. The last lines read,
When the tasks are complete, the rainbow dragons will fly, bring peace, hope, and love to the hearts of the people, and peace and prosperity to the entire land.
Excited, Marita ran to Sigismund and showed him the book. He called a meeting with all the sorcerers, all the scientists, and all its closest friends and most trusted advisors. Together, they read
Prophecy of the Rainbow Dragons.
carefully, and together they agreed to do all they could to make this prophecy come true.
An expedition was mounted, and the Pearl of Wisdom was found and brought back to the castle by the sea.
The search for the chosen one began as each knight, each sorcerer, each scientist, each explorer with great trepidation picked up the pearl and then set it down again, disappointed when it failed to sing.
Not a peep, not a squeak, not even when Lord Sigismund himself held the pearl in his hands. The message went out to the ends of the earth, and people who wanted to be heroes came from far and wide, and still the pearl stayed silent.
After a while, the people stopped trying, and Sigismund and his advisors gave up hope and began looking for other ways to bring peace to the land. Some even wanted to sell the Pearl of Wisdom, for it would surely command a great price, and money could then be used to buy more practical things. Marita and the other sorcerers counseled patience, however, and Sigismund listened to their advice. The pearl was given to Marita for safekeeping, and she placed it on a pillow that sat on a stone shelf built into the wall of her tower room.
There it sat, and never made a sound.
One day, several years after Marita found the book, a boy named Jared was tidying Marita's rooms. Jared was a servant who spent most of his time in the kitchen, peeling potatoes and washing pots, fetching this and fetching that for the cooks and the servers.
On this day, he'd been loaned to the cleaning crew to help in some spring cleaning.
Jared was very curious, and he quickly decided that his job, cleaning the youngest sorcerer's room, was quite possibly the most exciting and fun thing he'd ever done.
She had so many interesting things, so many books, gizmos, and gadgets. It was hard not to play with them, but Jared had a job.
And he knew how important it was to do his job quickly and well, so he cleaned each precious and mysterious object. He kept his curiosity under control. He carefully picked something up, dusted it off, and put it right back.
It doesn't hurt to imagine, though,
He said to himself. And so, as he held each object in his hands, he imagined what it might be for.
This one must be for measuring magic.
He thought as he carefully cleaned a golden scale.
This mirror must show the future.
Though in fact it was simply a mirror Marita used when combing her hair. He sneaked a look at it, but saw only his own familiar freckled face and untidy hair. His favorite object, though, was a silver flute. He wanted so very much to try to play it.
He resisted temptation, though, and simply cleaned it and put it back in its spot.
When he came to the place where the pearl of wisdom lay, he looked at it for a moment, for he could tell it was a pearl, and yet it seemed to him to be a living thing. Subtle colors swirling and dancing in its softly curving sides.
Must be a trick of the light.
He thought, shaking his head, and soon took the pearl from its shelf to clean it.
But as soon as he touched it, the pearl began to sing.
And that's where we're going to stop the story.
Yes, it's an epic cliffhanger.
A cliffhanger indeed. And if you would like to find out what happens next, you need to sign up for the summer program with CRE.
I know I'm going to.
I'm sure you will. Thank you. See you soon in the land of the
Bye.
dragons. Bye.
Well, thank you, Kathleen and Nathaniel, for that wonderful story. If you want to sign up and hear the rest of the quest, we're going to be hearing stories all summer with children's religious exploration. So you can email Janelle at dre@kuuf.org and sign up so you can hear the rest of the story. And it is an epic cliffhanger, and I can't wait to hear the rest of it. So let's sing the song that we usually sing. And you know what? Liam's not feeling good today. He's really sick. So I'm going to sing this song alone. And so I invite you all, I really need you to sing along with me today and to send Liam lots of good energy because he's not feeling well. So let's sing our song, This Little Light of Mine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere I go, everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Even when I'm alone, even when I'm alone, I'm gonna let it shine. Even when I'm alone, I'm gonna let it shine. Even when I'm alone, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This little light of mine, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Thank you for singing that with me. And I know even when I'm alone or I feel like I'm alone, I'm not actually alone. My community is with me. All of you are with me, and I can feel you singing along with me, and I appreciate it. So now is the time for our joys and our sorrows. Though we are physically distanced from one another, our hearts and our spirits remain connected. When shared together, our joys are amplified and our sorrows lessened. If you have a personal joy or sorrow to share, I invite you to put that in the chat this morning. And yesterday was the first day of summer. So I want to offer my joy that the school is over for the year. I want to share my congratulations with everyone, all of the students and teachers and parents who survived a really stressful end of the school year. You are all truly amazing. I hope you enjoy the summer, which you so richly deserve. And of course, happy Father's Day to all the dads out there, to the dad who is here, to all of our beloved forefathers and grandfathers and father figures. May you be cherished today. And if you have a joy or a sorrow, please put it in the chat this morning, and I would be happy to read those aloud for you. My joy, this is from Joey, is that I had my 33rd birthday on the 17th. Happy birthday, Joey. Lisa, feeling joy for all the beloved fathers, her dad Lowell, grandfathers Elmer and Edwin, husband Mac, our son Isaac, feeling blessed. Joy from Maya and Amelia about seeing our best friends for the first time in over 3 months. I bet that was really fun. Melinda, celebrating my son Braden every day, but especially this week as he turns 13. Happy birthday, Braden. 13 is a big one. That's an epic birthday. I hope it's wonderful. Pam, our joy is that we finally got to spend time with one of our grandkids, and it wasn't virtual. How exciting. I bet that was fun. From Ellie, my joy today is my son Scott, who is such a great dad. Marcia, my sorrow is that this is the first Father's Day without my dear father. Joy that he is my dad. Well, we share that sorrow and that joy with you, Marcia. Joy for Matthias's first Father's Day with the baby. Happy Father's Day, Matthias. Joy for Rachel Belling contacting Bonner last night. She had the fire in her cottage and she's doing much better. I'm so glad to hear that. Marcy says, missing my dad forever in my heart. Robin, sorrow for my niece who had a short hospital stay, and joy that she is improving. So glad to hear that, Robin. Sorry to hear about her hospitalization. Well, we're holding you all in our hearts, all of these joys and sorrows, all of the dads that we're holding in our hearts, the ones who are with us, the ones who've passed on, those who have fathered us and been our ancestors. Joy for flowers, Bonner says as well. Yes, joy for flowers. We're holding all of those joys and sorrows. Thank you everyone for sharing. May you who shared this morning feel the love of this community surrounding you and holding you close. And for all those whose joy or sorrow is too tender to share, our hearts are with you. May the spirit of life and love bring peace to us all. Amen and blessed be. Oh, we have one more. James, my joy was yesterday, was my 8th birthday. Happy birthday, James. 8 is also an epic birthday. I hope that you had a wonderful day and that you have a wonderful weekend. Amen and blessed be.
but thousands of troubles surround us, tormenting us with sadness.
If a person cannot see beauty in the world around them,
then troubles and sadness tie them down.
The beauty of the clouds floating in the sky, the beauty of the spring rain.
may people see that beauty.
May true humanity spread out in human hearts.
May we all get our daily bread.
And not bring each other into temptation through hatred.
May peace
spread out
across all the earth.
Amen.
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 Šťastný oslava květen, which is poorly pronounced Czech for happy flower celebration. Šťastný oslava květen. The Unitarian flower celebration, or flower communion, as it is often called, was first celebrated June 4th, 1923 in Prague in the Czech Republic. Dr. Norbert Čapek was the man who created this ritual, and along with his wife, Reverend Maja Čapek, founded the Unitarian Church in the Czech Republic. It's fitting that it's Father's Day that we're celebrating him, as he was the father of the Unitarian Church in the Czech Republic. Norbert was born a Catholic in southern Bohemia in 1870. He left Catholicism and became a Baptist minister and traveled as an evangelist throughout Europe and the United States. When he came to the US, he met Maya, and she, along with his experiences traveling, greatly influenced him. His views on religion and clergy and the nature of God had become increasingly liberal. In 1921, after the Baptists put him on trial for heresy, he and Maya discovered Unitarianism, and they were so taken with it, they left the United States and returned to Prague, where they founded the Liberal Religious Fellowship. Eventually, Maya became an ordained Unitarian minister, and in 1930, the Unitarian Church of Czechoslovakia was officially recognized by the Czech government. At the time, it was the largest Unitarian church in the world, with over 3,000 members. But World War II came to Prague, and in 1939, Maya escaped, returning to the US to raise funds to help the Czech community who were suffering under Nazi occupation. Norbert chose to stay in Prague with his fellowship. During the war, Reverend Maya served a congregation in Cambridge, Massachusetts, and this is where the flower communion was first celebrated in the United States in 1940. In 1942, Norbert was captured by the Gestapo and sent to Dachau concentration camp, placed in the barracks where they sent priests who were enemies of Hitler. According to court records discovered after the war, Dr. Čapek's gospel of the inherent worth and beauty of every human are, quote, too dangerous to the Reich for him to be allowed to live. He was killed shortly thereafter, though Maya didn't learn of his death until the war was over. Norbert Čapek left behind an impressive legacy. A thriving Unitarian community in the Czech Republic, hundreds of songs he wrote, books and essays and sermons, and of course, the flower communion, which has become one of the few rituals that Unitarians and Unitarian Universalists around the globe all celebrate, the Oslava květen. Norbert Čapek wrote the prayer that you heard earlier, which was spoken by international UUs, and it is worth hearing again, so I'm going to read it for you one more time. All human beings are created in the name of joy and happiness, but thousands of troubles surround us, tormenting us with sadness. If a person cannot see beauty in the world around them, then troubles and sadness tie them down. The beauty of the clouds floating in the sky, the beauty of the spring rain, the beauty of flowers, the beauty of friendship and love. May people see that beauty. May true humanity spread out in human hearts. May we all get our daily bread. May people forgive each other their trespasses and not bring each other into temptation through hatred. May peace spread out across all the earth. Amen. Norbert wrote these words in a small, struggling country in an uncertain time between the ravages and the horrors of 2 world wars. And they are just as true and just as meaningful now as they were then. And the ideals that Norbert Čapek died for are still just as subversive and just as critical. the inherent worth and dignity of every human. This is why we are protesting today. This is why we are fighting for Black lives and Native lives and transgender lives, and for the rights and dignity of all those who've been systematically marginalized and oppressed. Dr. Čapak created the Flower Communion to remind us of the beauty in diversity, that each of us brings something unique to the beloved community, and we must all be allowed to grow, to express ourselves, to embrace our beauty. This is how we grow a resilient garden, a thriving humanity, and a beautiful world of equity and justice for everyone. In the original Oslava Kavecin, people were asked to bring a flower of their choice, either from their own gardens or from the field or roadside. When they arrived at church, a large vase stood waiting in the vestibule, attended by 2 young members of the church school. Each person was asked to place their own flower in the vase. And if you think of 3,000 members of the congregation all bringing flowers, that's a lot of flowers. This signified, by putting it in the vase themselves, that it was by their own free will they joined with the others. The vase that contained all the flowers was a symbol of the United Church Fellowship. The young attendants helped with the arrangement of the bouquet, and then later they carried the vase up to the front of the auditorium and placed it on a table there. Dr. Čapak then said a prayer, after which he walked over and consecrated the flowers, while the congregation stood. The 2 attendants then took the vase back out into the vestibule. After the service, as people left the church, they went to the vase and each took a flower other than the one that they had brought. The significance of the Flower Communion is that no 2 flowers are alike, so no 2 people are alike, yet each has a contribution to make. Together, the different flowers form a beautiful bouquet. Our common bouquet would not be the same without the unique addition of each individual flower. And thus it is with our fellowship. It would not be the same without each and every one of us. I invite you to remember this as we embark on this Flower Communion today, which is very different than any Dr. Norbert Čapak ever imagined, I am sure. But just like those Oslava Kavecins of old, I'm going to bless our flowers, and then we will have our flower procession, which in this environment is a digital slideshow. But I invite you to watch. Appreciate the beauty of the flowers and the beauty of this community. And remember what Dr. Čapak was willing to risk to bring justice to a hurting world. Remember that it takes all of us, all of the gifts that we have to bring. Let us be strengthened and uplifted with the knowledge that, as Reverend Wayne Arneson once wrote, though the way is often hard, the path never clear, and the stakes very, very high, we can take courage. For deep down, there is another truth. We are not alone. And now let us bless our flowers with the words Dr. Norbert Čapak wrote in 1923. I invite you into the spirit of prayer. Infinite Spirit of life, we ask thy blessing on these, thy messengers of fellowship and love. May they remind us amid diversities of knowledge and of gifts to be one in desire and affection, one in devotion to thy holy will. May they also remind us of the value of comradeship, of doing and sharing alike. May we cherish friendship as one of the most precious gifts. May we not let awareness of another's talents discourage us or sully our relationship, but may we realize that whatever we can do, great or small, the efforts of all of us are needed to do our work in this world. Amen.
just as green, the sky is just as blue. The day is just as bright, the birds are singing too. You are my flower, you're blooming in the mountain for me. You are my flower, you're blooming there for me. It's just as pure, the sunlight just as free. And nature seems to say it's all for you and me. You are my flower, you're blooming in the mountain for me. You are my flower, you're blooming there for me. Summertime is past and snow begins to fall. Just sing your song and play to one and all. You are my flower, you're blooming in the mountain for me. You are my flower, you're blooming there for me. So wear a happy smile and life will be worthwhile. Forget your tears and don't forget to smile. You are my flower, you're blooming in the mountain for me. You are my flower, you're blooming there for me. You are my flower, you're blooming in the mountain for me. You are my flower, you're blooming there for me.
Thank you, everybody, for those beautiful flowers and your beautiful smiles. And it's just a joy to see all your faces. So I invite you now to set an intention and choose your word for the week ahead. You can choose one word or 2 words or even 3 words. And if you feel called to, put them in the chat and I will read them aloud. Beauty, hope, hope. Creative progress, spirit. Generosity, compassion, unity, sunshine, life. Bloom, hope, more hope. Appreciation, coming to terms, resilience, stamina. Not uniformity, love. Thank you, everyone, for sharing your intentions. May those words sit in all of our hearts this week and continue to inspire us. I want to add to that gratitude to William, who is the dad in this house, and to all the dads, and to my dad who might be watching, gratitude. Now let us sing our closing hymn. Spring has now unwrapped the flowers.
Spring has now unwrapped the flowers, day is fast reviving. Life in all her growing powers toward the light is striving. From the iron touch of cold springs the new leaf tender. Bursting forth in green and gold, glory in its splendor. Herb and plant that winter long slumbered at their leisure, now be stirring green and strong, find in growth their pleasure. All the world with beauty fills, gold the green enhancing. Flowers make glee among the hills, set the meadows dancing.
Well, thank you everyone for being here today. Please join us after this for coffee hour. I am going to put the link and the password in the chat, but for those of you who are on the phone, the meeting ID is 438-451-134, and the password is flower, Flower. Let us now extinguish our chalices. And let us remember, the world aches for us to join together and bring about healing, to grow and to flourish, every single one of us, and to work for justice and to keep choosing love over and over again. This is our calling. May you appreciate the beauty of this day. Have a happy Father's Day. I'll be back in the pulpit August 2nd. Have a wonderful July. Have a wonderful summer, and we'll see you again. Amen. Ashe. May it be so.